Good morning and welcome to Flannel Hill Farm. I made it down to the brown shed before I started filming to get the tripod. I have done nothing else this morning except to get up, put some farm clothes on to come out so that we could check and see how they survived the chick shot last night. So research tells me that I'm supposed to leave them in there for a couple of days. I think Big K found that research. So I don't know if we're gonna do a couple of days or if we'll just do today and we'll let them out tomorrow. I don't know. I know Big K was talking about taking the tractor back out of the fence so that wasn't even an option. Look at them all. They like the roosting bars for sure. I don't think they're a big fan of the big, it's like 1 inch hardware cloth in there. I don't think they like that too much, but going in here kind of seems a little mean too, but I want to make sure they're all doing okay. Make sure they didn't get weird last night and pile on top of each other or anything. So we're gonna go in and see how they're doing. Doesn't look like anybody has figured out the nesting boxes yet, which I don't expect them to lay, but being in there would be, a good indicator that they figured out food. Yeah, they're looking good in there. So, how are you guys doing? You guys are loud. You guys are loud. So, they survived. They're doing well. They're loud, but they're doing well. So, that was a success. Now, the only question is, how long do they have to stay in there to understand that is home now and not the tractor? Because I kind of hate them being in such a small place, but I don't want to let them out and then them not go back in like they should tonight and have it be a whole deal again. Because our cabin in the woods, Tony was correct in the statement that if we left them until dark, leaving them until dark made them slow way down, and they didn't fight. So we caught them. I had Bentley on one side of the tractor because they were kind of just huddling up right back here. So Bentley got on like that side and stood there, and I came around this side and caught them all. Put them in one by one. Big K opened the top. Every time I had one, we put them in. But I don't want to do that every night. So I need to know how many days we leave them in order to make them understand that that is now our nightly home. Which I'm sure is not a steadfast rule, which makes it even more difficult. Welcome to farming. So that's what we got. I picked up the dog kennels over there, got them rinsed out, left them out so they could dry out. Reorganized the brown shed a little bit to accommodate the new puppy food and such. So I kind of was able to give us a little bit more room, but now I gotta put those dog kennels back in there, so not looking forward to that, but it is what it is. I got the chicken stuff we use, the chick stuff we use this year I got in there, so that's better. These 3 buckets are for chicken food and water. So I have one, this one I ferment food in, that one I put regular dry food in if I need it, and that one's for water. I try to keep them separate so that I don't get the food gunk especially into the chicken tractor. They have the nipples in the chicken tractor water, and I don't want to gum them up. So, on another note, I don't know what we're gonna do today. I will have to leave and go into work by 1. I'll have to leave here at like 1, so I don't have much time to do anything, but getting that trim up, getting more of the insulation in, getting the rest of that siding up to put up the last of the outside stuff. Still gotta do the soffit and fascia, but I wanted to put all the siding up so that we could then do soffit and fascia, but I don't know. We'll have to see how it works. So, that's what we got. We worked really hard the last 2 days. It's been halfway decent temperature-wise, so I think we pushed it a little bit, but sometimes you gotta do that. We're kind of going back and forth on what we want to do about a doghouse. I'm a little worried about doing anything for a doghouse at the moment because I don't know how big she's gonna be. So, normal German Shepherds are 70 to 90-ish pounds, and her dad was 110. So I'm a little worried that she might be, in the end, a lot bigger than we originally would have anticipated. So I had an idea. If we raise up the food and water in the chicken tractor, that could be a doghouse, or at least a puppy house, for now, until we figure out how big she's gonna be. And then we could build her a doghouse that actually makes sense. Because a regular German Shepherd should have like a 42-inch crate. So you want to make it a little bit bigger than a crate. But it's a good guideline. A pallet is 48 by 48. So a pallet would work for a normal German Shepherd. But if she's going to be like her dad and be a 100-pound behemoth, then we have to look at a bit bigger. That also means like you would have to go from a large igloo doghouse to an extra large. But you don't want to give her too much space, because if you give her too much space in the winter, it could be cooler than what her body heat can keep warm. So issues. Lots of thinking. But it's in her best interest that we actually try to figure it out. So I think taking it a little easier on the doghouse side is probably a better option. And then you'll also notice that we didn't get any like food bowls. We do have a water bucket. Might be getting another one of those. Haven't decided yet, but we're not gonna have a food bowl, especially for the first while. We're gonna use the food, her meal times, as training times. So she's gonna have to work for her food. She's a working dog, so it's the way we started with KK too. So, but these dogs, this dog is, I keep telling you that she's papered. She will not have to be, I mean, she's papered by default, but if we actually want to paper her, it's not the AKC, because she's not a show line dog. She is an East German line working dog. So she, based on her bloodline, she is less likely for hip dysplasia, elbow dysplasia, all those kinds of things, because they actually, in their breeding rules, they bred ones that don't have any signs of any of that. So they have a straighter back instead of that curved German Shepherd back everybody's used to. The AKC shows that curved back. It gets lower in the back end. That is actually a indicator of hip dysplasia. Makes them more prone to hip dysplasia. So ours will have a straighter back. She's from the working line, so work is going to be instinctual to her, which is what I wanted. I didn't want the show dog. We're not showing them. We're using them on a farm, so that's what we got. Right, KK? What are you gonna do with a new puppy? She don't know. She don't want to talk about it. So hopefully, I think next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday will be when we pick her up. So that'll be exciting. Pretty excited about that one. So I will let you know how that all goes when it happens. But in the meantime, We got chickens we gotta try to rehouse. A little more complicated than I first anticipated, but we're working on it. So we're gonna keep working on the house, work with these chickens, and puppy will be real close behind. So on your way back down the hill, if you wouldn't mind, double checking my work down there. I don't know what to think about how long to leave them in there. I won't leave them in there too long. They don't get access to grass or anything, no bugs. So I don't know, I kind of feel bad, but if it's gonna make my life easier on the back end and their lives easier and healthier, then I guess we gotta leave them in there. If you wouldn't mind liking, sharing, subscribing, hitting that little bell notification button thing down there. And remember, I appreciate y'all.